All right. So there was basically a few items for the homework. Um, Before we dive into the actual homework side of things, right? So do you guys have any question on anything we discussed on session 2, or the requirements or the design? If you want to get, if you have any question, let us know, and we can talk about it. And then we'll take a look at the homework items. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
No, I was able
All
to
right.
hear it. So,
Okay.
Herschel, since Shwati was not there for the first 2 sessions, right? The last
Right.
Thursday and the previous Thursday. So, Shwati, did you had an opportunity to read through the requirements document? Do you have
Yes,
any
yes.
questions?
Yeah. I went through the requirement document, requirement specification document and requirement, both the system design document. I have went through it. So I understood the process. Means what is the managed user, dealers, lenders, what is the regional manager, system users, and what are their roles and responsibility.
Okay. Did
Okay.
you also go through the video link for the discussion? Not sure if that you had a chance to go through that.
I saw. Yeah, I watched the video also.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully that should have that would
Yes.
help
Yes.
you
Yes.
clarify the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Right. So,
Yeah. Go ahead, Dilip.
if there are no questions, I think we can start diving into the test scenarios and the tree mappings.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
So,
How you want to handle Dilip? Yep.
well, I want them to present, right? Because
Yep.
it's I want to understand what thought process they had it when they built it and what it is. So, who wants to share the scenario tree for the first requirement, which is a manage user module, the 2.6, which essentially talked about creating a area manager's ability to either create a dealer user or RFREP user.
Okay. So I guess one of you need to share. So whoever has completed, I think don't worry about whether getting it right or wrong. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer here. We just want to see what thought process you had and what you came up with. So anybody wants to go ahead, please go ahead and share.
I drew it on a notebook. I didn't draw it.
So what you can do is take a picture, right? And send it to yourself in the email, and you can share it, basically open it that way in the email.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a homework, right? So we expect everyone to put an effort for the homework, and we'll review it here, everyone's homework. That's what we do on Thursdays. Swati, just for your reference. So we review the homework, provide the feedback, and get ready for the next session.
Sure. Next time I will work on it because I wrote it on my I roughly wrote it down on my paper, like what are the test scenario for how we can
Okay.
write the test scenario different for creating
So
different users.
yeah. So Swati, what you can do is you can just take a picture with your cell phone and just email to yourself and present it if you want. Just take a couple of minutes to do that. It's fine. Whatever you have, I mean, we can review. Okay. Same thing with Sola and other folks as well, right?
What do you say we should do again? Take a picture and do what?
email to yourself, and then you will be able to share the screen, basically that picture, and discuss about it, what you came up with for the homework. So you had 3 scenarios, right? Basically 3 requirements. You should have come up with test scenarios for those. So we just want to see what you guys came up with, and we'll discuss it here.
Okay, I'm sending mine to you, Harshal.
Yeah, you can send me, or you should be able to share as well. Either way is fine. Yep. Because all you have to do is I will stop sharing, and you can click on share in Zoom and just share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop sharing here, and so that you can share your screen afterwards.
Mm. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. It's a first time for you guys, right? I think you just need to get used to the process. I think next week, basically, it will be similar exercises. So if you go through the same exercise this week, then it would be easier going forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, I received your scenarios, but let's see if you can share it, Pooja. I think you're on mute, Pooja.
It's like,
Yeah.
sorry, this is a new laptop, so now it's asking me to open system preferences and okay.
You can close that out. So in the Zoom, right? You click on share screen. You will
That's
see the
what I'm-
green button.
That's what I'm doing, but it's like telling me to go to system preferences in order to share my screen. And it says Zoom may not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit. Quit and reopen.
Oh, I see. All right. So let me do this time. I'll go and since I received your email, basically you can try it out next time. Maybe we can see it at the end.
Sorry, this is the first time I'm using Zoom on this
Yeah,
laptop.
yeah. No worries. No worries. Yeah. No worries. So let me go ahead and share that here. So then and then you can talk about it. Okay. What you came up with. So I'm going to share the screen now, which has your scenarios. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see it. All right, Pooja, let's see what you came up with, and what your understanding of the requirement is, and
So the
yeah, start from there. Yeah.
requirement is area manager can create the following user type: dealer user or art rep user. And so the person who is executing This task is the area manager. So that's what I understood from this. And I'm not
Okay.
sure if this is right, but when you are trying to create the user type, at first, from my understanding, the information might not be correct. So that's my negative thing on this.
Sure.
So the opposite of that is the information is valid or the required information. And then the next thing is for the rprep user, it's the same thing. Is it invalid or is it valid? And I'm not sure what else to put.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's
so
it's sometimes it's just a common sense. Okay. On this one, I think so I think your understanding is correct. Okay. Here. So now, when would they be creating? So talking about the business process, right? So where does this thing fit in? This area manager. What's the reason they are creating these users? Where what part of the business process it comes in?
Can I check back into?
Yeah,
It
you can
it
pull up.
comes under manage users, right?
This is manage users. Yep, that is correct. Now, if you guys understand the business process, right? There is a context diagram up front that you can refer to, or basically business process for the manage users business process. So why
so
would the area manager be creating this type of users? Go ahead, Dilip. You have any
yeah, I
thought?
was going to ask the same things. Think around when
Okay.
would the area manager be creating a dealer user?
To check the status of the application of the loan. So when they're logging into the site, is that correct? The dealer user? Hello?
Yeah. Yes. I'm here. Okay. So
So why would they? So say it again. When area manager does what?
Um, so the dealer user and rprep user, they can manage the, area manager, they can manage the rprep user and the dealer user. Is that correct?
Right, but when would they do it? Right. So think around the overall scenario, right? So we started talking about the whole business model is area manager or actually our FRIP user will go ahead and sign a dealer, right? And then there will be a people working at the dealership.
Yes.
When then you will have your end customers coming to the dealer to get their car fixed, right? So in that entire process, when would this activity will happen? So when would the area manager is going to go create a dealer user? Let's keep it as simple, right? Keep it with dealer user, and let's talk about when would that person will be created. So when would there be a need to manage a dealer user? That's the question for you.
or for anybody. Anyone else has any thoughts?
I think when new dealer want to register, that time we need a area manager to submit new credit application.
No, not when the new credit application, right? But you were on the right plane, right? So a a dealer gets essentially signed up with this system, right? So then they will have to then identify who all is working at that dealer and create those users so that those employee working at that dealership can actually submit the credit application, right? So in this case, area manager is going to create a dealer user when a dealer is signed up into the system. and they have a new employees, or they are trying to like it's first time set up and trying to sign up all of the employees working at the dealership who can submit the credit application. Right? Same way when you are essentially adding a new rep user to you're essentially think about it, our rep users are nothing but a salesman, right? So when you add a new salesman, that sales manager or area manager will essentially create a profile for them so that our rep user can then go into the system and do the necessary work that they need to do it. Right? So that's the overall scenario in which they will create it. Now, you have defined this 4 use cases that Swati, either yourself, Sola, or Nana has anything else that they want to add it, or your tree looks something similar like this?
So
No, mine's kind of similar to this.
Okay. Yeah, good, Pooja. What were you saying?
so basically, like so the area manager is creating the dealer user. So the dealer user can do the following: submit credit application, run reports, access loan calculator, and the ARC rep user can do the following. Like, am I understanding this process correctly?
That is correct. Yeah, you are right. Absolutely correct.
Okay. I don't want to overthink on something so simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's very. Most of the time, it's gonna be very simple. We tend to overthink, right? But it's gonna be very straight, simple. Just use the logic. Keep it simple. I think it will cover probably 90% of the scenarios for that.
Okay.
All right. So here you have 2 main branches, right? For the tree. So you have create dealer user, right? And then create rep user. And for each user, you have provide valid information while you are creating a new user, right? And then second scenario for that is provide missing information, which is kind of like a negative test case, right? Negative scenario that you have, and see if you are able to create a user. You shouldn't be. Your expectation is that you shouldn't be able to create if you don't provide valid information, right?
Now, do you also need to think about it? What if somebody tries to click on create user without entering any information?
Um,
Right. So there are 3 scenarios, right? So
yeah.
your valid data,
Mm-hmm.
your optional data,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is no data.
Okay, so there will be the third one, no date, don't date.
Right. Then what should it do? Should it give error message? What should it do?
Error message.
Yeah. As a QA person, you need to cover all the possibilities. Now, at the end, you may determine, okay, it might be additional, maybe it's doing the same work as the invalid or missing, and you can remove one of the scenario, which is perfectly fine. But as a QA, you should draw out all the possibilities for the requirement to handle that, just to cover your bases. Okay. So here you will have how many total? 6 scenario test cases, right? If you draw one more line, valid info, you are expecting to create a dealer. Invalid or missing info, you are not expecting to create a dealer. And if you supply if you don't supply anything, you shouldn't be able to create dealer regardless. So for the second create rep user, it's similar thing for that. Okay. All right. Anything else, Dilip, you want to add or anything?
No, I think that's good, right? Because there are other variation you can also think about. It is all of the data valid and optional, right? So required and optional. You can do that, but that if
Good.
you think around it, redundancy, right? So there at a minimum, you need those 6 test cases.
Where are you going?
She wants me to search that the Pickerton schools because I told it that Ridgeview and Central were the
Okay,
only.
I'm gonna mute you, Sola, for a few minutes. Okay, then you can unmute and then you come back. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and we can move on to the other requirement. Hopefully, everybody should have something similar, right, to this.
Now, who
Okay.
wants to share the second one, which is essentially doing a loan calculator module, the 2.1 on this one?
Yep.
So, which is 264, right? Which has a need ability to calculate loan payments based on predefined calculations.
I'll share.
Yep. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but I already sent it to my email. Are you
Yeah.
able
Yeah. So then open from the email and just go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah. Yeah. It will work. Yeah. Should be okay. Yeah. You can just click on share screen and whatever is selected is fine. You just share the desktop. I think that's easier.
So while Sola is kind of pulling it up, right? The question comes in is this meets the 3 CNT criteria?
Let me pull up the requirement here, Dilip, so that they can see it. All right.
Share screen.
Okay, hang on, Sola.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. We're gonna talk about requirement first. Okay, so I think let me know if you guys can see my screen. So we are talking about 264 and 2.1.
Right.
So let's talk about the requirement first to see what is supposed to do, right? And then we can dive into the test cases side of things. So Sola, go ahead. Explain your understanding of this requirement.
Yeah, I'm trying to open. I already
Don't
sent.
worry about opening. So you understood the requirement, right? What is the requirement about? And we can talk about requirement so that you understand, and then we can see the scenarios afterwards. So I have the requirement open here. Okay, this is
Yeah.
the requirement.
Joshua, send me my book.
Yeah, because the loan calculator. The
Where is the
customer,
book?
I think the scenario is about customer was successfully able
The big white book.
to calculate the loan payments
Thank you.
based on
Thank you.
predefined calculation.
Okay.
And also the other part was unsuccessfully unable to calculate low payments based on predefined. So we have the successful and we have unsuccessfully.
Okay. So understanding this, where does it fit in the business process, right? So let's keep it to that first. So when this requirement comes into picture,
When the loan,
so yeah, like what part of business process, right? This requirement comes into play, and who does the work here? Who is actually performing the task of loan calculation?
The dealer.
The dealer.
Okay, and no, why, what point they are using the loan calculator?
When they are doing the loan review reports or the payment calculation.
Is that where they are doing, or there is a different place or different process for them, or different point, basically? Anyone else has any thoughts?
It's loan payments.
Sorry, what was the question?
Question is like when this requirements or where does this requirement fits into the overall process? Who does the work, right? So we all know dealer will be utilizing loan calculator, but when they will use the loan calculator, what point?
During the loan calculation.
Okay, during the loan calculation, but
But when would they do the loan calculation?
When new credit, when new credit application is received and they have to submit the application to, before submitting the application to the lender, they will calculate the loan.
Look at the context diagram, right? That'll give you a hint as to when this thing comes into play.
so I'm just gonna flip it here. Okay.
Well, could it be when the credit application, when the credit application is being approved or rejection?
But isn't that too late? I mean, at that point to calculate the loan?
No, yes, that would be too late.
Okay, so I'm just
Look
looking at,
into the
I'm gonna
problem
leave it
description, right?
here, right here.
Read that, the one which is Herschel is highlighting it, right? That's the problem statement. Read that and see if that gives you an idea when it will be used.
So the customer will go to the shop and they will want to know the amount, the loan amount to repair.
Okay.
I'm looking at deed. There should be a link for new loan calculation. Employee will click on it and bring a loan calculation page and calculate the loan payment for a total auto repair cost.
So that's when calculate the loan.
Right. So it's a customer sitting at the dealer shop, right? And they are trying. The dealer gave them estimate. Hey, it's gonna be $5,000. And customer says, I don't have money. And that's where dealer will say, let's see if we can get a loan from there, right?
Yeah.
And they will give them the estimate of the monthly payment before they actually submit the credit application. See if they can afford it, right? Because they need to do some calculation upfront and provide them, hey, it's gonna be maybe $200 a month. Can you afford it? $200 a month over a 5-year period, whatever it is. Just as an example, right? So that's the process. That's where the loan calculation comes into play, right?
Okay. So like the situation.
Yes, it's always about situation, right? Because system typically companies build it to solve a particular problem, right? And that supports the business process. No matter what IT system you will see, they all are built to solve the business problem in the real world. And here, they want to automate this process and get the market share, right? That's what we discussed, I think, earlier. So, okay, so now I'm going to flip back to the loan calculator requirement. All right.
Now that you understand the context, right? If you read this requirements, does it meet 3C and T criteria? That's the first question you should ask every time you look at a requirement, right? So let's talk through it. Does it meet 3C and T requirement?
Needs ability to calculate loan payment fees. Predefined calculations. Needs the correction.
Correct, consistent, or complete.
Complete.
And last piece would be testable, right? 3C, that's
Mhm.
according to requirement. T means testable. Can I test it? Do I have complete information, complete requirement? Then only you can test it. Okay.
Okay.
So does it meet 3C criteria?
No.
What is missing?
Mm, like, so they give the time in parentheses, but they don't tell us like how to calculate it, like what the formula is to with the time. If you understand.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Hold your thoughts. Let me see if anybody else has any question or what their understanding is.
So Lana or Swati, do you agree with what Pooja said? That there's things that she feels it's missing.
Yeah, like what do you mean like predefined calculation? Like what does that mean?
Okay.
Need
And
more
also,
information.
So I'm asking your teammates to see if they agree with you or if they have any different thoughts. I guess
yeah,
everybody's quiet.
yeah, it's not. I feel it's not complete because we actually don't know how much was being approved for the finance or something like that. Need ability to calculate loan payment based on predefined calculation 60 months. But yeah, it's not complete. I agree it's
So
not complete.
what would you need it in order to fulfill the 3C and T requirements?
If it's not complete, what kind of question or what clarification you would need, I guess, from the business or business analyst?
What do you mean by predefined calculation? What is the formula for 60 months time
Okay.
period?
Does everybody agree? I guess she's asking the right question. Okay. I'm not saying she's asking a wrong question. But do you guys see where that's coming from? Okay. So it's talking about predefined calculation, but if you have to test this, right? So think about you have a calculator, you're going to punch some numbers and it's going to get you some output. How do you know it's working properly? What would you need in order to test that? Right? Just a simple calculator. If you have somebody gives you calculator, say, please go ahead and test it. What would you do in that case? So you're going to punch in some numbers, you're going to punch in some formula, whatever, and then you will press equal and you're going to verify the output, right? But what you need to know in that case, the calculation, whether you're going to be doing the plus, minus, multiplication, or whatever it is, right? Without that, can you do anything? Can you verify anything in the calculator? If
No.
somebody punches in like 1 and 5 and they say, oh, verify this, it's 15. But what is the operation there, right? So you need to know the calculation in order to say yes or no. So here they have given you 60 months, but what's missing? If you look at the financial formula, right? Any calculator, any financial formula. So I don't know whether you guys study finance or not in the school or not, but it's a very simple formula, right? You're gonna need to know the interest rate, right? You're gonna need to know the time period. You're gonna need to know the amount, what amount, and
Yeah.
then you plug it into formula, and it will give you the monthly payment,
Yeah.
right? So here they mentioned the predefined calculation, but they did not give you the calculation.
Okay.
So I think our question was correct. Where is the calculation? Either you give me interest rate or the formula that you are applying, or give me some other calculation, right? In order to test this requirement. Does it make sense? I mean, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to get you the calculation. I'm going to simplify it for you. I'm going to you can ignore all the financial formulas. And I'll tell you your monthly payment. See if I can write it here. Okay. So monthly payment. Can you guys see my what I'm typing?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. Is equal 0.03 multiplied by amount. Okay. I'm just going to get you simple calculation without taking all the. So it's basically 3% of the amount. That's what you're going to be monthly payment. And this is loan amount. So that's the formula I am giving to you guys. That's as simple as that. And that takes out complexity of interest rate. It's going to be fixed interest rate over 60 months period. And it comes down to this formula.
So where does the 0.03, where is it coming from?
It's the 3% of the loan amount. That's the formula we're going to use for loan calculator.
So 3% of the loan amount is your monthly payment.
Monthly payment. Yep. That will be fixed period, five-year period, or 5% interest rate, something like that. Considering 5% interest rate. So you will use this formula. If I give you this formula, now do you think the requirement is complete? Can you
Yes.
test it?
Yes.
Okay, can you test it? And
Yeah.
if you say you can test it, tell me how would you test it? Or what would be your test cases now?
So like the scenario.
Yep, scenarios, yeah.
This is where the tree will come.
Yep, that's where. So what are the different things you would do to test this formula or the loan calculator functionality?
Put in.
Keep it simple, okay? It's not complex. I'm not asking you any complex.
So the appointment
no
is this
complex.
is right?
What is it?
So you've been at appointment since?
I did not understand. Oh, can you repeat
You
that
came
one more
back on
time?
what time?
And I think he's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. All right.
So who pick your kids?
All right. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you might have to
him.
mute him.
Yep.
So what will be the input, right? What we will provide it?
Yeah.
Like the data.
What will be the data? What data you will provide it? If you have to test this functionality.
think about calculator, right? What would you, now you know the formulas in the calculator. What are the different things you can do it for testing?
I don't know.
All right. So if you guys want to think about it, then I think think about it between now and Sunday. Okay. Because I'm not going to draw the picture for you guys here. I think I'll want you guys to think through it. Now you know the requirement is clarified, right? So now you have full understanding of the requirement. Let's see what scenarios you come up with.
Okay.
All right.
You
Okay.
want to move to the third one,
Yep. We will move to the third one.
which is approval and reject credit applications on 2.2.
All right. So give me 1 second.
I think it's
Alright.
section 2.6.
Yep.
Right.
I think it's here. Yep.
So the 2.2 says lender can only approve or reject application by changing status.
All right. Who wants to talk about the business process first? Because everything starts with the business process and context of the requirement.
I think you jumped to
Credit application.
3, the
Sorry.
managed lender.
Did I say managed lender?
Yes, part 2.6.3, managed lender. Ability to
All
set
right. Let
lender
me
by.
see what I give you for homework. Give me 1 second. Yeah, 2.2, right?
I think
Lender
2.2,
can,
that's what I'm
yeah.
reading through the email. It just says 2.2, approve reject credit application module.
Yep. So this is what it is. Lender can approve or reject credit application by changing status. Okay. So if you read other one, which is fine. Okay, we can talk about it. All right, can you guys see it? So 2.2 is correct. Lender can only approve or reject credit application by changing status. So that's the requirement we are talking about.
So can I say the situation?
Hold on. Anybody else? I want to give a chance to anybody else as well. Anybody else wants to take a stab at it? See what you guys' understanding is?
Yeah. So this
Yeah,
credit
okay.
credit application is submitted by dealer, right? So lender he is going to either accept the application or reject the application and send the notification to uh, a dealer through email, right? So
It happens within the system, right? Email is just a notification, basically. It just sends a notification, hey, credit application is being submitted for you to review or take some action. That's all. But lender will actually approve or reject in the system. Okay. But does it make sense, Swati? I just want to make sure you understand.
Can you please say that again? I didn't understand it.
So the approve reject credit application, right? So application is being submitted by dealer.
Yes.
Notification goes out, right? As part of the flow, work process. Notification goes out to the lender, right? Lender gets notified. Basically, hey,
Correct.
application is waiting for you to take some action. Then lender actually, what the lender does, he actually logs into the system and then basically takes a decision, reviews the application and makes a decision. That, right? That's where this requirement comes into play. Now let's talk about this specific requirement. Now you understand the flow, right? I mean, hopefully everybody is clear on the flow here. So how would you test this? Is there anything missing here? first of all, requirement wise?
No, it's straightforward.
Okay. How about anybody else? Anybody thinks anything missing? If not, that's fine. I mean, as long as we think, I mean, it's complete, then we move on to the testing side of things. Okay, so now 3C is good. So now we're going to look at the testability, see how can we test it or what is needed from the test scenario standpoint. So anybody drew anything?
I did.
You did? Okay. How about anybody else?
Yeah, I did too.
All right, so go. It's your lucky day. Go ahead, share your screen. We didn't see last one, so yeah.
Yeah,
we
but
can
I'm
see
trying.
it.
Well, I'm not. I can't see how to. I'm trying to share the screen,
So what you can
but
do
it's
is
not.
click on share,
Mhm.
right? Click on share, and whatever is selected is fine. But you will see a blue button at the bottom right corner. It says share. Just click on it, so it will share your desktop. And then you can go to the email if you have a picture from there, and then we can talk about it. See what you have, what Pooja has, and those things, right? Yeah, Zoom is simple. Zoom doesn't have much complexity.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
So yeah,
So,
click on share screen and green button, and then click on blue button, and then you're good.
yeah, that's what I did, but it's not letting me. Hold on. Click on share. Click on the blue. It shows open system preference.
Okay. All right. Let's see open system preference. I think Pooja got the same thing. So let's see.
Works for me now. I think you just need to follow the
Open
instructions.
security and privacy to grant access.
Yep. I think you might just need to do okay, or
No, I click
uh,
on it's not allowed.
I think you have to go to your system preferences and then
It's telling me to go to. Okay, let me do
put
Yep.
an
allow the application to record the content of your screen.
yes. You have a question, Nana?
No, I don't know. The next step is on this.
Okay.
It's not allowing me. Can you share it? Can you open it from you just like the way you did?
Yes. So did you email me?
Yeah. Oh, do I need to email it to you?
Yes. Without that, how would
I
how
thought you
can I
said
open?
email it to herself.
No, you can email, but if you are not able to open, just forward the email to me, and I should be able to open. All right. Let me know when you send me. Okay. So I have my email open.
Okay.
So next time, I think you guys can see. I mean, set up basically your machine for sharing, right? So we know. I mean, you guys are running into issues. So hopefully you can sort it out in the first couple of minutes, and then we'll start online the sharing part next week, next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my first time using Zoom after a long time. Even my classes are asynchronous, so we don't use Zoom.
I see. I see.
All right,
Yeah,
I've sent
Zoom
it.
is long.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a tool, right? So it's not any programming type of thing. So yep. Once you configure once, I think it works okay. All right, I'm going to share the screen here. All right, you looks like you might have to speak to that, okay? Because it's your handwriting, so all right. I'm going to share. All right, let's talk about what you got. So lender, I'm not worried about lender, cannot modify, right? So this is the one, last one. Go ahead and Sola.
Lender was able to approve or reject credit application by changing the status.
Okay.
And lender was unable to approve or reject the credit application. Then also I did lender cannot modify application.
Okay, so I see
So
here. So
it's the
this is
second one, right? So, but if when you look at this, all you did it is just rewrite the requirements into a different way. Right.
So as a tester, right, you need to prove that you can do that, basically, as a lender.
Yeah, so the lender makes the decision if the loan is going to be approved or not. And if it's been approved, then the lender will then they'll move to the next phrase.
All right. So okay. Hang on. I think I showed the wrong one. So this is the part we are talking about here, right?
Yes.
Lender can approve or reject credit application by changing status. Okay. So this part, this is what we are talking about. Okay. This is the
Right, but when you look at it, right, it's just essentially reworded in the same thing. Lender can approve and lender cannot approve or reject, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to think it a little bit differently. If I have to prove it, what are the different scenarios? Right, so think around what would be the state of the system would be or credit application, and what can lender do on it? So it talks about status. So that's one hint I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
So we talked about the process, right? So what happens here? So lender is waiting for the application, right?
Yeah, lender is waiting for the application to be approved.
Well, they are the ones actually making a decision, right? On the final decision on the whether, hey, is this guy's, can we give money to this guy or not, right? That's what they are trying to figure out by looking at their application, and then they need to take some action. So this particular requirement talks about what action they can take, right?
Yeah.
Whether they can either approve it or reject it.
So the only way it can be approved
During that
is
process,
if the customer has a very good credit score.
So what are the two possible actions you can take according to the requirement?
Check the credit score of the customer.
No, it's not talking about credit score, right? So focus is on lender can only approve or reject credit application by changing status. That's the requirement given to you. So your scope is only that. Credit score and other things, I don't think we are even talking about in the requirements anywhere, right?
Right.
So you don't want to add the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else was saying something?
yeah. So like
Check.
during that status, I mean, during that process of like waiting.
Not
Is it-
waiting. Now the application is with lender. right? So here lender is going through whatever he needs to look at it, and then he's ready to make a final decision. That's where this requirement comes into play, right? He's putting his decision in the system. Now the what requirement says is lender can only approve or reject.
By reviewing the report,
It's not talking about reviewing reports. Where does it talk about in this requirement reviewing reports? Whatever they do outside, it's our scope is it's out of scope.
No, like I have a question on like
Okay.
what okay, so the lender would log out to the site and review the application. Lender would approve or deny the credit application.
Well, that's the requirement you are trying to solve here, right? You are trying to validate as a tester.
Correct.
They can either approve or reject, but nothing else.
Yes, by changing status.
Right. So that's the goal of this requirement. So how would you test it? Right? From the testing standpoint, now you wear the tester set. If I would, and you need to wear a hat as a lender. Okay, I'm a tester, but I'm also a lender. And I'm trying to, I'm reviewing this application, and I'm supposed to make only these two actions, but nothing else.
As a lender, he should be logging into system.
Those are the
Using
steps, right?
limit.
We are not talking about steps, right? So how would you go? How would you do that? That's again a whole different story. We haven't really talked about it anything yet. We are just talking about scenarios. What are the possible things lender can do here? Those are high level scenarios, right? Not actually detailed steps.
Okay.
Okay. So the
If it is a
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Swati.
if the loan is approved, then he can send email to dealer. Or whether it is approved or rejected, then he can send notification.
Again, that's not part
No?
of this requirement, right?
Okay.
Here,
Okay.
because your requirement, what's given to you is that is your requirement. So you are testing that requirement only, basically. How would you test it? What are the scenarios? Yeah, go ahead.
lender was able to approve the credit application by changing status.
Okay.
And then the lender was unable to approve the status, the credit status by changing the
What's
status.
the opposite of that? As I said, I mean, things are very straightforward, okay? There is no complexity. If you don't want to add anything, yes, you can be as simple as that.
Lender couldn't approve the credit application because of the changing status.
Now you just added more complexity here. Anybody else has any thoughts?
So when you're saying like by changing status, so if the application is approved, then the lender cannot change the status.
Okay, so what are the possible two things first, right? What are the two things that lender can do here?
So if the application is approved, this lender cannot change the status, and then the opposite of that.
Okay, that's the opposite, but what's the right path here? What are the two possible actions he can do on the application?
Either approve or reject.
Okay, so that not either approve or reject. If you are a tester, can I approve?
Approve or deny.
Rejected. Can I approve application that is already rejected?
No.
Right. So these are mutually exclusive. Either you can approve or you can reject. Right. So if you have to draw it as a scenario.
Is there a right or wrong way of like coming up with the scenario?
Sometime there is. Okay. I'll tell you that. All right, hang on a second. So if I remove this to or reject here to this, right? So lender can approve credit application by changing status. Lender can reject credit application by changing status.
So what do you
So
mean
these are,
status? Like when?
so when they are ready to make a decision, right? Basically. Now, I don't know whether you looked at all the requirements, but when the credit application is submitted, I think they have some type of status. Credit application is submitted status, or basically at that point. Now, when the lender accesses this, they can only change from submitted to either approve, that's one scenario, or reject. Or second scenario would be lender can change the status to reject. Those are the only two possible scenarios here, right?
Yes.
So I mean, whatever Sola had is correct, but he mixed up both together. The scenarios he mixed up. Basically. Now, uh, can I approve rejected credit application? You could potentially have that. You approve the credit application and see if you are able to change it back to rejected. That could be your negative scenario. Same thing. Can I change from approve rejected to approve? Should I be able to do that? You
So
should not, right?
So then the next step, it says dealer will receive notification regarding status of the application. So until that process, can the dealer log in to check if the application is pending? Like whether until they make the decision of approving it or rejecting it. So will it be just blank? Or will it say it's pending?
I'm not sure what. So you are saying the applicant, once the lender makes a decision.
Yeah, so the next step of that, the lender would approve or deny the credit application. The dealer will receive the notification regarding the status of the application. So will the dealer be able to log in and check what if until that process of approving or denying, will it say
Yes, yes. So when you write the actual detailed steps, that's the verification part. How would you verify the credit application is approved or rejected?
Those are called test scripts, right? So we're not
Those
worried
are
about
called
test scripts.
right. Now that would be the next step for you to think through. How can you verify the credit application is approved? That will come as part of the actual test data test steps, basically, and those things. Right now, we are just saying, okay, how do I prove credit application is approved, or basically lender can do certain things like can they approve, can they reject, can they change from approve to reject, can they change from reject to approve? They shouldn't be able to do that, but you still need to test it from the testing standpoint.
Correct, but my question is about the pending. Like, does it say pending or it's just blank?
Yeah,
And then
no. If the application is submitted, does it say pending status? Where did you get the pending?
No pending.
I'm asking because I have never done this in real life. So
Yes, that's correct. So so what you are doing right now is wearing different user set, because remember, system is not built. You are just given a requirement. Developers hasn't written any single piece of code yet. They might be designing, but you start writing your test cases at the same time. So you are trying to make some sense out of what are the test scenarios we have here. And when the developers actually will start writing the code, you actually will start creating the actual test cases, writing detailed steps, because you will have more understanding based on the discussion with the developers regarding how they are building the system and so forth. So you will have clarity about steps, but your scenarios will not change, because that's the business process functionality side of things. That should never change. But the steps you might have to revise it and so forth.
So in this scenario, like one of the scenarios, they cannot change the status if the application is approved. That is correct?
If the application is already approved, they shouldn't be able to change the status to. That's again, that's why we said 3C and T, right? Now, does it say it here in the requirement? It does not, right? But what it says is lender can only approve or reject credit application by changing status, but it doesn't say can they change it from approve to reject or reject to approve,
Okay.
right? So that's a clarification you might want to ask a business analyst, because there might be a business reason for that, right? Because if the application is already approved and the lender dealer already said, yep, I got the money, I'm going to fix the car. Next day, lender comes in and he says, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. We need to reject the application. Dealer would be in trouble, right? Because they already fixed the car. They don't have any way to recover the money. So those are some of the things business analyst can think through and say, nope, I missed the requirement. I'm going to add that clarifies the requirement, basically saying lender can only approve or reject credit application, but they cannot change it from approve to reject to approve.
Okay. So how many scenarios are there?
Well, potentially here you can add 4, right? 2 are positive. Lender should be able to approve. Lender should be able to reject. But they shouldn't be able to change from approve to reject or reject to approve. So those are 2 additional negative scenarios. Because you need to reject the credit application, go back in and see if you are able to change the status again to approve. You shouldn't be able to do that.
So think about it as how somebody will probably use the applications and think around ramification, right? So if the lender is able to change a approved application to a rejected, what does that mean for a business? That means, hey, I was going to give you a loan, so you get the car fixed, and now then I'm going to come back and says I can't give you a loan. Right. So you need to make sure you understand those business rules and then test it for those scenarios.
It's all about business, okay? In any company, it's all about business. What the business says, you are building the system according to their specs, which is nothing but the requirements, and you are testing from those requirement standpoint, basically, to make sure system behaves what is specified, how it's specified in the requirement. They shouldn't be able to do anything else other than approve or reject. I mean, this requirement is small, like 1-liner, 2-liners, but as you can see, I mean, it takes some time to flush out certain things. Okay. Any other thoughts anybody has it, or any question, clarification on this thing? All right. Okay, so I think you have work cut out for loan calculator, right? Because I think you needed some clarification. We provided you clarification. So now I think you can give it a shot for the test cases or scenarios, basically. See what you come up with. And then additionally, you will get you additional requirements in the classroom as well on Sunday to work through. because this is such an important part. Okay, you have to understand the requirement thoroughly in order to write the test cases. So just give it a shot. If you haven't had a chance to read through requirements, I would say go through it again. You have now between now and Sunday, so you have 2 more days to go through that, understand a little bit further, and come prepared on Sunday, so that you can start diving into writing more scenarios and other things. Okay, any other thoughts here? Dilip, you want to add anything?
Nope. I think I would recommend is review it, refresh it, because as Harshal pointed out, this is the crucial thing. You cannot write the script unless you know what scenarios you're going to do it for.
Yep. Anyway, that's the reason we are spending good amount of time on this process here, so that you get plenty of practice on this one, and then everything is piece of cake. Okay, afterwards. Okay. Anything else? All right. Okay, I think then we can wrap up a little bit early here again, and come prepared on Sunday. And I think we might carve out certain teams in the classroom to see if you can work in the pair on Sunday and do the classroom exercises.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Fine.
great. So read the requirement, finish up loan calculator at home, and come prepared on Sunday for additional things. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
see you guys on Sunday. Yep, 8:50. Yep.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.